What's up, y'all? Welcome to the first episode of Trendy Flaws Podcast, home of Chasing the Bag.
What it do? What it do?
I have two people who I admire, who I know personally, and people that I watched grow up into like who y'all are right now. And I wanted my first episode to be personal, you know.
Oh,
And
that's sweet.
thank you, Jessica.
You're welcome.
And I just want to appreciate y'all for stopping by and
We
Check it out.
appreciate you
You're
having us.
welcome. Yeah.
So before we get started, no problem. Y'all can introduce yourselves, your names, which I do. We're gonna get right into it.
Well, I'm Jessica Jackson.
Mrs. Jackson.
Publicly. Okay.
Congratulations.
What else do you want to know?
What you do?
Well,
Your resume.
I know it's a lot. It's kind of thick. Well, I just closed my salon, and now I am a bridal stylist, but I also am, how would you describe it? Like, I basically am like admin, event manager for a small business.
Dope. And
So,
don't forget a content creator.
oh yeah, I mean, I dibble and dabble. I can't be like, I'm so busy right now that I can't be as consistent as I want to be. But eventually, once I get back like in the swing of things, I'll be able to get back into it.
What about you, DJ?
My name is Eric. I am a fitness content creator. I do have a 9 to 5, but we ain't gonna talk about that right now. We're gonna talk about what I want to do and where I want to be. And I have some things in the works and businesses that I want to start myself. So y'all can stay tuned for that as well.
That's dope. All right, so being that I know y'all, I know what to touch and like what how to go about certain situations. So first things first, the people who just now meeting y'all and getting to know y'all, how did y'all meet? And they just newly married, like
For sure.
like 2 months.
Not yet. April 11th will be 2 months.
Look, see, they newlyweds. So let the people know how y'all met. I know it's like it's probably two different stories.
Yeah, absolutely, all the time. Okay, we'll just give like a brief synopsis. We've been together for 11 years, 11, 12 years.
About 12.
We met in middle school, and I mean, I guess the rest is history.
Yeah.
We weren't together like the entire time, but majority of the time.
Yeah. We always came back to each other.
Yeah, and here we are.
Right, that's dope because y'all met at a very early age.
Yes,
For
we were
sure,
12.
Right, so the fact
12
that
years
y'all,
old,
you know,
yeah.
like when you break up with somebody like in middle school, high school,
Yeah.
like, oh fuck it, like I'm on to the next. The fact that y'all always came back.
Yeah, you never like being in middle school. You never being there like, okay, I might marry somebody that's in this school right here. Now, high school, you mature a little bit and start to figure out different people and different things that you like. But in middle school, people they don't really hear people say, I married my middle school sweetheart.
Right.
Yeah, those stories are like no longer.
Right.
It's a very old school way of like, being in a relationship and kind of going through life.
I'm just blessed that we was able to continue to grow with each other and become the people that we are and grow in love.
And I will say this, so like clearly Eric and I love each other, but I think that genuinely what's always kind of brought us back to each other is the fact that we like genuinely like each other. You know what I mean? Like I actually like this person.
Like
So
that best friend for you.
yeah.
For sure, yeah.
So it's like, yeah, I love you, and I love you on a different level than I've ever loved anyone else. But I actually really like you. Like you're a cool person. You know what I mean? So I think that that's also been like, I don't want to lose that. Was always kind of like my mindset was like, okay, we'll break up for a little bit, but like I'm losing my friend. Like,
Well, we know you was. We know Jessica was
okay.
not. You was not having that at all. But it's good because look where I am right now. And like I appreciate that.
I feel like subconsciously Eric was kind of like that too. I don't think that he'll ever really admit it.
I mean,
Or maybe not on the scale
No,
that like
I done told you before we had this conversation. Like I knew she was the one when it would kill me to see her with somebody else. And I ain't like that. You know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna be depressed about it, but seeing her with other people, I was like, nah, I ain't really rocking with that. I gotta get mine back. You feel me?
And at an early age, he did. And at an early age, you just don't see that often. And I just like admire that with y'all. And like I know, like you're welcome. In your relationship, y'all hold God like first.
center.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
he's like
There's
in the
no
middle
way
of it,
around
right? And the fact that y'all are so young and y'all have a close connection with God, and then y'all use that in your relationship, you don't see too many young adults actually putting that in a relationship, including myself. Like,
It's
me
crazy
personally.
because I know a lot of people that's older than me, like 30s, 40s, who say the same thing. Like, they don't have that in their relationship. So when I be speaking to them about why I went about the way I went regarding our relationship and our marriage, they be like, dang, bro, that's crazy.
Right.
Like, I told somebody that I know that we getting married and we gonna have kids next, and he was like, dang, that's crazy. People usually get married after they have kids because you wanna,
There's an obligation
yeah,
to the child.
exactly.
You like, oh, I knocked her up.
Might as well marry her, yeah. But I'm like, nah, I wanted to do right by God. She wanted to do right by God, so that's why we did it the way we did.
Yeah, that's a fun fact because I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was shocked when you mentioned this at the little guys' night at Cheeto House. The abstinence thing.
Celibacy.
Yeah, celibacy.
Yeah.
I said, okay.
Abstinence
whatever.
is like you've never done it ever.
Yeah, it's celibacy. Like, you don't. I'm gonna keep using this young thing because like.
Yeah. It's
adults,
unheard of.
yeah, it's unheard of. Like, and like that's like.
And I'll say this.
That's tough.
I know. And this is what I was like about to say is like, I don't know about Eric, but I got a lot of like shady comments.
That's
Like
gonna come.
a lot. Like, and it didn't really do much but like propel me to want to be like, you know what, like I can do this. Like,
Right.
I'm not necessarily, and it's, I think what made it sad is the fact that like, damn, like that shit is so like abnormal that, you know, people are just like, ugh, like, you know, they kind of shy away from it. And it's definitely not for everyone. And we had our own personal reasons, and that's all that mattered.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it didn't matter that people didn't understand it or people wanted to know how. Like, I love my mama, no shade. But she was like, even at one point, she was like, so y'all really not having sex? Like, you don't want to have sex? You don't miss it or something like that, she said. And I'm like, girl, like, mind your business.
Right.
And I mean, I ain't even gonna cap, like, it wasn't easy. I mean, look at her, like,
Right.
it wasn't easy. Well, I was trying, I wanted to, you know? But, and it's crazy because I got the opposite from what you got. Because all my friends and all my homeboys was like, bro, like, I admire you for that. Like, you got strength. Because a lot of people can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
And it took, you know, discipline, dedication. You really gotta tell yourself every day, like, okay, I gotta find something else. I find a better way to be intimate with my partner other than having sex. And I think that brought us closer.
Right.
Absolutely.
That's dope.
Absolutely
That's really
agree.
dope. That's dope. Who idea was it?
It was very
It
mutual.
was mutual, yeah.
Very mutual. It was one of those things where like, and I'm not gonna say too much as like when we were younger, but like when we did get into our adult age and we were having sex, we felt so much conviction.
Conviction, yeah.
Like, basically conviction meaning like you feel bad for what you're doing,
For the
knowing
slow
that
people in the back.
like you feel bad because you know that you're doing something that you really shouldn't be doing. And it was one of those things where like we're walking into the church, we're walking into the house of God, and we're lifting our hands and we're praising and we're worshiping and we're listening to the word and we're reading our word and we're praying, and it's just like
It's so opposite. You're not
it's
doing
giving
that.
hypocritical a little
Right.
bit, you know what I mean? So I will say that like it's not for everybody at all. And I know of some people who don't have the discipline, don't have the same discipline, and they decide to like not even live with each other. You know what I mean? Until they get married. I mean, that's personal preference. I honestly think, and that kind of goes into like a whole nother topic, but I do think that you should live with your spouse.
Oh, we're gonna get to that too.
marry them.
We're gonna get into that.
Okay.
We're gonna get
Okay.
into that. My question, either way, any one of you can answer.
Mhm.
What do you guys feel like the true definition of a man? Like, because like growing up, it's like, oh, head of household, he has to do X, Y, and Z. But obviously things change. You have some women who bring in the bread, and the men.
So gender
Bring it up.
roles.
Yeah.
This is a good conversation. I
Yeah,
think
and
really
we have
touch
it.
on
We have it often, or we talk
sure.
about like different things often.
But no, I'm gonna go first because
Okay.
I'm a man.
Okay.
But I feel like
My
the definition of a man is like standing on your word at the end of the day.
Mhm.
Because as men, that's all we have is your word. So being truthful, being respectful, and doing what you say you're gonna do.
Right.
Like everybody can talk the talk, but it's all about walking the walk. So I feel like if you can stand on your word, be firm in that's what's really all boils down to. Like being a man ain't about being macho or having all the females. Like that's not what makes you a man. You got to be raised right. It got to be in you, not on you. So I think that's what makes a man a man.
What about you, Joseph?
What makes a man a man? I mean, I would say the exact same thing. I will say that I was blessed and fortunate enough to have a dad who showed me what a man was supposed to look like and act like and talk like and do. So I mean, I agree. A man who stands on there, who says what they, says what they mean, says how they feel, and acts on that.
Right.
And just to add on that a little bit, like taking care of yours, like your people, your family, your friends.
I agree.
Oh my bad.
You can bring it
Fancy.
Okay. Alright, I'm a rookie. But you're like taking care of your people and making sure that everybody around you straight, and that doesn't necessarily mean money.
Right.
It just means like taking care of people's heart, their mind, making sure that you're there for the ones that are there for you. Like that's big for me.
Right. And you said you was blessed enough to have a father figure in life that teach you some things. Do you guys feel like most women have to teach men how to love, being that growing up is like, oh, you can't cry, or you can't do this, oh, men don't do this, boys don't do this?
Yeah, actually, I do. I think that a lot of men and boys, young men grow up with not so much sense of like vulnerability. Like being vulnerable is not a thing. It's not common. It's not comfortable. And I think that at times it does take a woman to bring that vulnerability out of a man.
Right.
I think that a lot of men have issues, even just when it comes down to being able to like love deeper, because they refuse to be vulnerable. Like, it's just, I think that even sometimes like when I see stuff and I read stuff, it sucks that some women have to deal with men being so like beside themselves as far as like the way that they may treat women or the way that they may talk about women, because they don't fully understand what it's like to even like be loved or how to love a woman.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, I do think that sometimes women have to
that extra push.
yeah.
Some you have to actually teach them like it's okay to cry, it's okay to tell me how you feel,
right?
Because some men just like, oh, that's girl shit, like,
and then it like boils over and blows up. Eric used to be like that.
Really?
I mean, not in a sense of like, I don't think that what your dad told you that no, you couldn't cry. I don't think it was one of those things, but he just was a person who just kept everything aside. Like, didn't necessarily want to be a burden to me specifically.
Right.
But I will say that a lot of the times I can be a problem solver. And so it's like, how am I supposed to help you if I don't know what's really going on? And then if I do something again, or if someone does something to you again and you react in that same way, it's like, okay, there's a cycle here, and we're gonna have to get to the bottom of why you feel this way and how you've gotten to this point. And it's like, if you don't talk to me about it, like, how are we gonna get anywhere?
Right.
I would say that I don't feel like women have to teach us how to love, because when we feel love, we know what that feels like. But I think they have to teach us how to love them. Like, we have to be taught how to love that specific person, because we look at love in like two different ways.
Right.
So me being any type of vulnerable to her in our past, that was the ultimate sign of love for me, because I wasn't vulnerable with anybody.
Right.
Because I'm like, if I have an issue with me, and it's still kind of this way now, but it's like, what am I gonna tell you my issues for? You can't do anything for me. You're not gonna, if I tell you I can't pay this bill, if you can't pay it either, you're gonna be like, hey man, that's tough, I feel bad for you. Let me finish. You're gonna be like, I feel bad for you, but I can't do nothing about it.
Right.
And that's how I've always felt. And it may be wrong, it may not be the right way to feel, but that's how I feel. And that's just something that you have to learn to overcome. But I mean, it's hard to do that, especially when you years after years after years of building that bad habit. It's gonna take years and years to correct that bad
It's gonna
habit.
take the right woman to actually.
And that's what it's all about, and that's how you know when a man really loves you, if he's opening up to you even just a little bit, so you can help him fix that, because every woman is not gonna see that.
That's a fact.
In my past, like if I'm dealing with some female, like I'm not telling her none of my problems, and if she don't respond the way that I want her to, then I'm gone. Like
Right.
you ain't that special.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Nothing to say, Jess?
Just feel like even when it comes down to like what he said about like paying the bill. I mean, I just kind of feel like if he says I can't pay this bill, or if he doesn't say I can't, let's say he don't got the money to pay the electric bill and electricity go off, you ain't even tell me that you was behind on electricity, or you know what I'm saying, you didn't even tell me that.
But that's anybody though.
But that,
you
no,
know,
that,
that's
but we're,
anybody.
Ain't nobody about to let the electricity go out though. I'm gonna find a way.
Right.
but
I'm gonna find a way.
I think that, and this is going to take time, obviously, because we are newly married to be like,
Yeah.
this is a team unit. Like, there is no more, I can't pay this, I can't do this, I can't do that. Like you
listen,
have to
look,
put me in.
Hey, guess what? I ain't got it.
Yeah.
And that's dope. Like
And
that's a
it's,
beautiful
but
thing.
it's
Right.
real, and I agree. Like, it is a beautiful thing to be able to be like, whew, here I go. Like, I gotta put my pride aside and be like, look, I ain't got it this much. And I've always been the type of girl though. Always. It's cool. I got it. We gonna figure it out.
It's something about like a man like, damn, I ain't got it. Like,
I get it. It's a pride
yeah,
thing.
why
It's a
the
pride
hell?
thing.
I don't want to go to my girl like, oh, man, you got it.
But this is my question. This is my question. You've had it this entire time, and now one time you don't.
Oh, that's a fact.
I respect
Like-
that. I appreciate that. But you gotta
I'm not
think
gonna
about
like throw you under the bus because, or just talk shit and be like, man, like you ain't got shit. Yeah, like I'm not even about to be doing all that. Like,
But you know what's crazy? Every woman ain't like that.
that's yeah.
Like, I'm blessed to have that, because a
I mean,
lot,
it
a lot of
sucks.
people forget quick about what you have been doing, and the first slip up, the first mistake is like, oh, you ain't built like that. So it's a blessing that you are like that, and I appreciate that, because it helps me to be more vulnerable and be able to ask for that help. But it all comes from, you know how we grew up. Like my dad, he was the provider, and even if he didn't have it, we didn't know. So I'm me seeing that, I'm like, dang, I want to be like my dad. I want to be able to come forth and be able to provide everything that I can. I mean, like, times are different now and times are changing, so you gotta ask for help when you need it, but that's just what I'm used to seeing.
Yeah, and I will say that, like, dang, what was I about to say? What was I about to say? Oh, I've told Eric this before. Who told you, right? Like, give me a name, like somebody who told you that you had to put all this weight on your shoulders.
It's just.
I know.
It's a him.
Yeah,
I know.
It's a him thing.
I
first,
know,
like,
but I'm just saying, like, you know how like people grow up and they hear like their teachers say you could be anything you want in this world, or you ain't gonna be shit. Like, who told you you gotta put all the weight on your shoulders? You know what I mean?
But
Like,
it's about how you grow up too. Like he watched his father go to work every day. He didn't work on weekends.
I think that it also, like for me specifically, I think it also comes from a place where I want to feel needed too. You know what I mean? And it's almost like if you don't feel comfortable like coming to me, like, do you even need me? Like, if you feel like you could just do everything on your own, or you'll figure it out, or you'll make a way, like, I mean,
I can't.
it's
say
just
you know
it's just
that.
like, I don't really know. Maybe it's like a childhood thing. I don't really know, but it also just comes from me feeling like, well, I
But
want to
that's
feel
the only
needed
way.
too.
So you still
Yeah.
have time to
I see
discuss
what you
that,
mean.
communicate, and X, Y, Z, you know.
Yeah.
for
Yeah,
real,
no, yeah.
That's still trying to find things out yourself.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We ain't perfect by a long shot.
No.
We learn it every day.
Right.
Every day. Like I'm
Yeah.
still some things she tell me that bother me, that bother her. And you know, we may have an argument about it, and my pride may be hurt, and I may be like, man, I ain't doing that. But in the back of my head, when I wake up that next morning, I'm like, hey, Bae said she don't like that. Like, how can I do something that make her happy?
And that's not every man either.
That's special. Cause Lord, I'm like, shit, you mad? I wake up, man.
Right, you see what I'm saying? And I mean, that happens sometimes too.
Yeah.
Like, that does happen as well, but like we had an issue about dishes one time. But now before I go to work, she be at work before I leave. So now when I'm done eating, I be like, let me just wash the dishes. So when Bae get home, she got a clean kitchen to cook in. You know what I'm saying? Like little stuff like that.
Let me take some notes.
That's
man.
right.
Let me take some notes. This leads to the second question. It piggyback off the first one.
Mhm.
Why do you think like women are taught to do certain things? Like they're taught to pour their feelings out and show sympathy and all the X, Y, Z. Like why is it different for women?
I'll let you go first.
I think that women are just taught to be softer, and emotion is soft. You know what I mean? I think that I will say that I don't necessarily know how I got as emotional as like I am, because I grew up in a household where my mom was very independent, like a little too independent.
Right.
You know what I mean? And she wasn't very vulnerable or emotional, and maybe I saw that and was like, I don't want to be that hard. Like I want to be soft and gentle, but I mean, I don't know. I just think that women are supposed to be, or you know, that's what they say. Women are supposed to be softer. The men are the hard ones, you know, the strong ones and all that, and women are supposed to be
And I mean, I actually,
soft.
I like the idea. Like, it's
Softer
a
woman.
little traditional, but I do like the idea because women are natural nurturers.
Right.
Like, the child comes from the woman. The woman usually nurses the child up until, you know, they can do stuff on their own, while the man is, you know, out providing. And I mean, that's not necessarily a bad thing if, you know, y'all can make that work. But I think that's why women are more emotional, because they just, it's natural to them. That's, even animals in the wild, they're just more, they nurture better. So I feel like that's why women are more in touch with their emotions, because they have to know what their child is feeling before the child even feels it. You know what I mean? And
I don't have kids yet, so I don't really know.
you know, I'm just saying, like,
But yeah, I get what you mean.
Yeah.
like your grandma. Everybody go to their grandma's house because, you know, you feel
Right.
love at grandma's house.
Yeah.
That's
And
what I think.
I definitely agree with that. Like, even thinking about like my mom and my grandma, very nurturing,
Absolutely.
very
You
giving.
can go. Look, I met them one time. I was like, "Hey, grandma."
She don't need, you know,
She has
she
like,
hugging you back.
yeah, and she just has like this natural aura of just like, just gentle, and
Right.
you can come to me,
Yeah.
and yeah. And I really do admire that. So I will say, like, I definitely got that part, you know, from them or whatever. They're definitely hard.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, I think I'm probably the most emotional out of all of them, like, for sure. But they are very, like, I'm here if you need me. Like, and I absolutely admire that about them.
And to add to it a little bit though, like, nobody don't want an overly emotional man anyway though.
Right.
Like, it's okay to show your emotions, but you don't want no man crying all the time and whining to you all the time
Yeah,
about
Jonathan
what
the
they
Black
got
man.
going on. You know what I mean? Like,
I agree.
men, if you a man, you supposed to have a little bit of tough skin. You ain't
Uh-huh.
supposed to be as soft as a woman. That's why God made us different.
Right. Jonathan, y'all don't see it, but Jonathan,
He
So,
could
who
not
was
say
the emotional one?
He is, of course. I'm a bit emotional, but I love
You're
hard.
Pisces.
But I love hard with people I love.
Yeah.
Like it could be any.
Jessica too.
Yeah, like if I don't know you, then all right, fuck you. I don't care. But being that I love you, you can do this much, and it's gonna break my heart.
Yeah.
Cause yeah, goddamn right, I'm sensitive.
But you know, and no, go ahead.
No, that's it.
No, I don't know what the other questions are, so
Oh,
I was about to
oh.
say something, but I'll wait.
Okay, so how you touched bases on this before, but how important do you think it is to coexist before marriage?
I think 100% without a shadow of a doubt, you have to do it. I don't understand it. I'll be 100% honest. I don't understand the like living separately or whatever and not coexisting before you get married. Like, how do you even know? Because that can change the game.
Yeah.
Like, they say that you don't know who your spouse
You
is
don't.
until you live with them or
You
until
don't.
you go on vacation with them. How on this God's green earth are you gonna get married to someone and you don't even know how they live? What if they don't even be taking a shower for 3 days? You know what I'm saying? Because you see them, no, because you see them once a week. So that, yeah, so like, and that's what I was about to say is like you have to be able to see people at their best and at their worst. How am I supposed to say that I know who you are and I've never seen you at your worst?
Right.
And sometimes people at their worst is at home in the shower, like on the couch, where they're like all in their feelings after a long day. Like all that emotion, I need to see that.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I need to feel that. Like I don't get it. I mean, I'm not gonna go so far as to, you know, like judging it, but it's just like
No, I'm definitely judging it. For sure.
What you mean you judging it? What you mean
people who don't live together.
People who don't live together before marriage, or people who been together for like 3 years and they live separate. Why?
Right.
For what? What are y'all doing?
But if you think
what's the goal?
If you think about it though, because you know we were celibate. That's something that we chose to do by God. And the Bible says you shouldn't shack up. So
okay, I will say this. This can get a little funky. It can get a little hasty. The Bible says don't shack up, right?
Yes.
But we have to also understand what shacking up means.
Explain.
Shacking up means like being intimate when you're not supposed to in the same house. If we have like a roommate situation, that's fine. The Bible don't say you can't live with the opposite sex.
Right.
Or same sex, or you know, however it is that you decide to live. The Bible don't say that. The Bible says you're not supposed to be in the same bed doing stuff that you ain't got no business doing. That's what shacking up means. So live. You can live there. You can stay down the hall if that's what you feel like you need to do. You know what I'm saying? If you don't have enough discipline, I encourage it too.
Well, I stand corrected because I encourage that as well. I feel like you should, you know, get to know the person in and out before you tie that knot.
Because I would say like for myself, I'm cool. I'm good, but if you live with me, you gonna get a whole different side. You
absolutely.
Who the hell is this man?
Yeah.
Like, I'm moody as hell. I don't like being bothered half the time.
Right.
Yeah,
and it's either like, okay, now that I know who you are, is this a life that I choose?
right. Because once we in there, then what?
Yeah, exactly. And I just feel like there is a whole array of like arguments that could be already taken care of. You know what I'm saying? Now you walking into your marriage learning this person, like, and it's just like, whoa.
And when you live with somebody, little stuff could make you mad. Like little, like soap or shoes.
Yes,
like,
and I will
or
say that,
cabinets
like,
being open or something of that sort.
like,
You do that?
listen, this is, and
But
we have very different styles of like cooking. I'll say that. So when he cooks,
Well, at least he cooks.
he does. When he cooks, all the cabinets open. All the ingredients out, everything. I'm just like, whoa. And I'm a clean up as you go. So when I walk in the kitchen, I'm like, no, let me get out.
Exactly.
There's a lot going
when I'm
on.
cooking,
It just makes
let me cook. Go sit down. Because when I'm done, I'm gonna clean it up. I'm gonna close the cabinets, put the stuff away. I might leave one.
I don't get like opening the cabinet, grabbing what you need, and just and still walking around.
I mean, come on, they don't just be all over the place.
No, Jonathan, he has like he go to the dishwasher and get a fork and leave the dishwasher open.
Ah, there you go.
Why? Like, I'm like, Jonathan, like.
Look, he ain't saying nothing.
Right. You just threw your thumbs up. You ain't like that. By the cabinets, hell, sometimes you leave the freezer open. Like, it be little stuff, or he just come.
That's like Eric got something out the fridge the other day, and he like opened the, the drawer that's in the fridge, and then he went and put his ingredient in the pot or whatever. And I was like, babe, I'm coming back. I'm coming right back. And I'm like, but you're not coming right back. You're
if I ain't saying nothing, you wouldn't do it.
But I'm not gonna leave it open all night. Eventually, I'm gonna turn around and be like, dang,
you don't know that.
Let me close it. I know it.
Nah, that grinds my gears, bro. Like, I hate that. There be little stuff like Jonathan. He's not in the house. Why his shoes? Like, he just leave. He'll walk, take his shoes off. For what? Go in the room, take your clothes off. All right, at least do it in the washroom.
Yeah.
He'll take it up right there.
And just leave it there.
Leave it there, like, Jonathan, I'm coming. All right, listen. How important I think is to like express love language, because people now this is something people don't talk
Ooh,
about.
that's a touchy one.
Like love language is
I'm ready for it.
Cause
I say a lot about it.
yeah,
love
he
language stuff.
does.
Because I feel like your love language is whatever you give out.
Yes.
And I heard this on Deion Sanders was talking about it on I Am Athlete podcast. If your wife come in the room and she touch you on your shoulder or your elbow, she probably want you to do the same to her. If she give you a hug, she probably want a hug when you walk in the house. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like people love language change all the time.
Right.
I feel like
I think it's everything. Everyone has everything.
Everybody has everything. Like, I'm not a gift person. I don't need my appreciation shown by giving me gifts. But every once in a while, like, throw me something. You feel me? But
What you like?
like what type of gifts?
Yeah.
Socks and drawers.
Okay.
That's it.
Nothing but cakes.
I like that, but if I'm gonna ask for a gift, I'm gonna ask for socks and drawers.
Oh man, like.
That's how you get your father for Christmas. Like, all you gotta do is
That's what I
socks
do.
And then I think also like even when it comes to like giving gifts, like I do like to give gifts, but it's not. I wouldn't say it's like my top love language. But it'll be stuff like I'll be like, oh babe, and I used to do this a lot when we were younger, like high school, like first day, and I used to buy Eric stuff all the time, and he hated it. So I stopped.
Right.
And now I'm like kind of getting back into it just a little bit, but I recognize how his dislike for it, because it kind of, you felt like it came with conditions.
Slit.
And I was giving from my heart, but he felt like.
But how old y'all was? Because y'all started like giving gifts in middle school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even, I'll say this, when he was in college, my dad told me, like, you're working, you're not like in college or whatever. He's
Athlete.
He's in college and he's an athlete, and my dad knows like, okay, that means he ain't got no money. So if you can, help him out.
Yeah, that's real.
And I told you my dad, and
And I appreciate that. Like, I remember times being in the cab telling my homeboys, like, bro, they the breadwinner right now. Like, she taking care of me for real. Like, I had no problem saying that, but I didn't always want a bunch of gifts. Like, coming in, dropping groceries. I like stuff that I really needed. Yeah, like if he was coming in with a bunch of shoes and clothes on me, like, I don't need that.
And
Give me
I
some food.
love
right.
that.
Give me something to eat.
I
Like,
love that.
something. Give me toiletries, something I really gotta use.
And that's what I started doing.
Yeah.
And I started doing like all the materialistic stuff, like for birthdays and holidays and stuff like that, because I didn't want him. And also, I think it kind of stung a little bit when I would like get him gifts and his reaction wasn't. It wasn't what I wanted. I'm like,
If you give me something, give me what I wanted. Shit.
So I was just like, whatever. But like I said, he felt like, I guess like subconsciously, he felt like it came with conditions. And I was just giving from my heart. I'm also one of those people like, if I go to the store, I'm not just buying for me. Like, I'm like, like what would Eric want? Or what would Eric need? Or whatever.
Right.
Like,
She likes surprises. It doesn't matter what the gift is. It doesn't have to be a big gift or anything. But if I'm in the store and I see some hot fries and I bring her some hot fries back, bro, she will be so happy.
Yeah, she's gonna turn to a hot fry.
Definitely, she really is.
Baby hot fries. Running around everywhere.
But that's what she likes. She just like to be surprised.
Yeah.
I do.
That's dope. That's dope. Because, shit, it took me a minute to actually know, like, how important love language was.
Yeah.
Like, until I listened to Queen Naja's song, like, Love Language, I'm like, oh, shit, this is something. This is like, something real.
Right.
And then not knowing, like, I'm a provider. Like, I don't want to show the affection in a relationship because, he just, like, Well, I just sit down and my problem will go away. Me, I don't know what's wrong.
Yeah.
Let's
Let's talk
about
about
it. Like we are like totally opposite. So me, my love language is like affirmation. Cause I would.
That's his.
Yeah.
That's definitely his. And I had to work on that. Me telling him like, I'm so proud of you. You are doing such a great job. Thank you for doing this. Thank you for doing that. That's everything
That's
to him.
enough.
Yeah.
That's all I need.
Yeah.
Just let me know that you appreciate what I did. I don't need nothing else.
Do you guys like depend on each other to be happy?
No.
Nah, I feel like you're responsible for your own happiness. And if you're not happy within yourself, you can't make your partner happy.
Yeah. And I feel like if you're not, it's like pouring into a cup that's not full. Like if you're not happy yourself, why the hell am I gonna try to make you like?
Right.
Sure.
I think that should be good going into the marriage.
It almost becomes like, if we're depending on each other to be happy, it's almost like a drug. Like, I need you to keep me up on this high, because if I don't have you, who knows where I would be.
Right.
And I don't do drugs, so.
Are you the hookah?
But that's why I always tell people, like, a relationship is never going to be 50-50, ever. That's like, it can't be, because you're going to, sometimes you are going to need that person for a little giddy up. But it can't always be that person giving the giddy up. You feel what I'm saying? So sometimes I'm going to be down, I need you to help me out. But that's how it is. It's a lot of give and take. But you're not supposed to rely on somebody else to make you happy.
Right. That's a fact. That's really a fact. We're gonna like kind of switch gears and talk about friends. I know like in relationship is different. Like you can't. It's weird having like single friends. No matter like how long y'all knew each other, whatever it may be, like it's like okay, you can't do what they doing. I don't give a fuck like how close. I could be damn near family.
Yeah.
You can't go to the club with X, Y, and Z, and you know, like how you feel about that?
At least not all the time.
Yeah.
I think that I'll speak from like just this wedding season alone. I think that I purposely lost a lot of friends. I'm not gonna say a lot, but like maybe like
Well, just because you got friends.
Yeah.
For little things.
No, actually I don't.
Nah, I'm gonna disagree with you on that.
I don't.
It really be the opposite sometimes.
They drop you?
Yeah.
Because Jessica, like, in her friendships, bro, she love hard.
Yeah, I do.
And they be pissing me off.
It affects me.
Because when her friends hurt her feelings be hurt. And now I'm like, I'm trying to run through your face now. Like, you just hurt my girl. Like, I don't like that. Why you her friend?
So how that work? Like if y'all mid things and then come back around?
I mean, it depends on what happened.
On what they did.
It depends on what happened.
I think that people who are now gone, they have to stay gone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's no second time around, because I think there's a pattern, and that's kind of weird, but there's a pattern in friendships that I have lost. It's like one argument, one and done, that's it. I'm not that kind of person. How come I can't tell you how I feel, or how you made me feel, or how you affected me?
Right.
And we talk about it and figure it out, and we move on. You gave old boy 10 million, 50,000 chances, and we have one disagreement or one argument, and it's like I never even existed. That's what like hurts me the most.
Right.
Is like, damn, like, and then to me, I just kind of take it as like a sign from God, like maybe our season is over, our friendship season is over. It sucks because I would have never thought that I would have gotten married without certain people, but it was supposed to happen, and it was still like the best day of my life, and I'm sitting here today and I'm totally fine. You know what I mean? But it stung really bad. Like,
and some of the people, it was a surprise to me, because I'm like, hey, y'all, the love was equal. You know, they loved each other hard with some of the friendships that she lost.
Right. And I could definitely agree with there's friends for different seasons, different reasons. Because Jonathan always say like, oh, you have like I have like 4 close friends. So Jonathan say, oh, it must be X, Y, and Z season. And I talked to this person
Eric
more.
says stuff like that, but not like that. But it's the same context.
I talked to one friend more than I
And
talked
it
to other
hurt
ones.
my feelings too.
I mean, it hurt my feelings a little bit, but sometimes I don't like being bothered. Like,
It be hurting her feelings, but like it's crazy. The people that be coming into her life, I always read them like that.
Like that.
I know exactly how the relationship about to pan out. If it, I don't always tell her because I know it's gonna make her feel some type of way. But in the back of my mind, I'll be like, "Shorty ain't gonna last long. She ain't gonna be. She not a real friend. She don't give me that. I just love Jessica. She don't give me that." And I be like, "She be going in 2 months. She be going in 2 months."
Did they just want to be around her for certain things?
I don't know. I don't want to say they trying to use her or not. Like you said, it be a seasonal thing. And I think sometimes when you go to different places, people feel like they forced to have relationships with certain people.
Right.
So once you see that person, you be like, okay, this might be cool, and you feel like, okay, I gotta be her friend or something like that, and then it just don't work out.
And I will say that I'm a different breed, and I'm well aware of that. I can be very emotional, very aggressive, very deep, very all of that, and everybody can't take that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I will say that, like, again, speaking from our wedding season, because it was also a season of grief for me. I lost my dad late 2020. We got engaged 3-4 months later, and I'm planning a wedding. So I'm grieving while still like planning a wedding. Did I have times where I went off? Absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt. Like, I lost my mind. And I think that my friends who are still my friends today, who I know will be in my life forever, they understood it. They're like, you be tripping, but you don't be tripping like this. So we know that this is coming from a place of hurt. You know what I mean? And then some people who are no longer my friends, they didn't care about none of that. They didn't like the way I talked to them, this, that. And I'm not like trying to diminish that, because I understand that like words can hurt, and you know, I completely acknowledge the fact that yes, I may have hurt your feelings. At the same time, you have to understand, try to understand, I feel like, the mindset in which I was in and the emotional state in which I was in. And then also, while all that was going on, Eric went to Germany. Right. You know what I mean? So there was a lot of emotional baggage that I had going on. And like I said, I just think that the people who are still here, they really showed me like, you going through it, so let me give you your minute, cause you ain't talking to me like that. You know what I mean? So, you know, but that whole like, what did they say? People in your life to like teach you a lesson.
I forgot that.
Yeah, there's I believe that, like, to its core, for sure.
What about you, EJ?
What was the original question again? How we feel about
like
the
friendship, like single friends kind of too. Oh, I didn't really touch on that. Sorry.
It's fine. Yeah, I got a question too.
Yeah, we need a question all over the place. But no, I agree, and you have to once you find yourself in a relationship where you putting that person first, you have to understand, and your friends have to understand, that you can't do everything that you've been doing, and that's just out of respect to your partner. And I've never had the issue where like my people understand like EJ ain't gonna be everywhere with us all the time, and I think that's it. Like, you nip it in the bud right there. There's no arguing with it.
But everybody doesn't get that. I also think that even now, and correct me if I'm wrong, I have like 2 friends who are single. I had a lot, but I have 2 friends who are single now, because everybody don't get it. Right. You know what I mean? I can't do this and do that, and I'm not doing it. I don't even want to do it. You know what I mean? Like, if everybody don't get it. And I also think that like some people see like, oh, you got married, oh, you're in a relationship, so they change. Like, okay, yeah, I'm married and yeah, I'm in a relationship. That doesn't mean I'm not gonna be your friend, or I'm not gonna talk to you, or we can't hang out. We just gotta shift some things a little bit. But I think that people change. Like, okay, cool, she married now, cool, I'm out.
Shit, I mean, seasons.
Yeah.
The seasons change. This is the last question I'm in touch with the whole relationship question or wives. How do you guys adapt with like dealing with family?
Woo!
Look, I said this question for this segment. Yeah. Look.
You did it.
He did it, man.
No, because listen, because look, on my end, right?
Yeah, because you're family, so.
No, I'm talking about.
But you're also like.
Oh yeah,
we'll get there, but yeah.
Like with me, like I commend you. Like, all jokes aside, really. Cause you've been around for a long time, right? And for people who not watching or listening, they have a backstory. But for me, as far as like my partner, I don't know.
Choose your words wisely.
I don't know what, babe. I can't do it.
You don't get along.
Yeah, I was like, listen.
Does Jonathan have siblings?
Mhm.
How many siblings?
He have like
3.
he has 3 siblings, but you consider like your cousins, like how I
Okay.
consider
Us,
cousins.
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, he had a lot. I get along with all of them. Like shit, I went to school with one of them, so we good.
Yeah.
But like I know just not y'all, just like anybody, like it be worse, or it just don't work at all. How do you guys adapt with that in y'all world?
I'm gonna just say
You want to get like.
her and my sister didn't always get along. It was some feuds, and it used to take some left turns a lot of times. But one thing my mother used to always say to me and her is like, you're in a relationship with that person.
Right.
You're not in a relationship with everybody else. And it was easy for me to adapt to that and be like, I'm worried about my lady. Like, I don't care about none of y'all talking about.
That's real.
But Jessica really enjoyed the thought of having sisters. So she, after the feuds and everything was over with, she really wanted to build relationships with my sisters. And I appreciated that. But the energy wasn't always vice versa.
Right.
It wasn't always like that. So it was still times where, heads would butt, but she did a great job of sticking in it, bro. Like,
yeah, no, I know.
Because any other girl probably would have dipped out, you know what I mean? But she continued to push for those relationships. And things are copacetic now. Like, we can all get together and laugh and
I
smile
love it.
and have fun. I love it too because I'm a family man. And
Yeah,
and
and
I
so
enjoy
am
seeing
I.
it.
Yeah.
So, like, I appreciate you sticking in for that. I just want to say that on
Thank
camera.
you.
But,
Thank you.
yeah, it wasn't always easy, bro.
Right.
I will say that I agree. I wanted, like, always had this dream, even now, is like this big family. Like, everybody comes together. Like, the
How big
wedding.
your family?
Oh, it's huge. So my mom has 2 brothers, but my dad was the youngest of 12.
Oh,
So.
yeah,
So there's a
one
lot.
was at the window, huh?
Yeah, but not nearly as many as
Yeah,
there is. No, everybody comes.
I'm like, wait, ain't that?
Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot. But like the wedding was so fun. Even the rehearsal dinner, like Eric's sisters talking to my friend, like that's everything to me. Like, and it always has been. And I've always had this dream of like this huge family and everybody comes together with all their kids and like that. And I think that is what drove me because I'm like, this is the man that I want to have all of that with. So.
Let's make something work.
Yeah, let's make something work. I will say this, 100% on camera, it was absolutely my fault why things went left when I was younger. How old was I?
Like 13.
Yeah, I was like 15, 16,
to like 16,
17, like a hot head. Like very, like, as soon as I thought it came out of my mouth.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I don't have any like excuse or anything other than just being a hothead.
Yeah.
Being a hothead. Like, I don't care what you got to say or whatever. I'm gonna say what I want. I ain't like what you said. Here goes my, you know what I mean? Here's my comeback, yada yada yada. And I will say that, like, as you know, all the sisters very different. Like, very different. As similar as like they may be on the outside. Oh, they are very different. Yeah. Me and Shakira have always gotten along. We had one argument about hair, but it wasn't like, you know what I mean? I will say that we've always gotten along. But she's also the most similar to Eric. You know what I mean? like just easygoing, real easygoing, real chill. You know what I mean? And I will say that like the two others, Lolo and Erica. Yeah, but I'm just talking about Lolo and Erica. I will say that like we're all kind of similar. Like me, yeah,
I think that's what makes y'all
exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
Even with Taser, y'all all outspoken. Y'all alphas.
Yeah.
Y'all alpha women.
Yeah, for sure, 100%. And I've also always been a woman that's like, I want to talk about like my feelings and how I'm feeling, and it hurts to hold things in for me. Like physically, it hurts my heart to hold things in. So I want to talk about it. If you got beef, what's up? Like, let's talk about it and get over it. And it wasn't always like that. You know what I mean? And it's very frustrating. Someone like me who like wants to talk about everything, because how do we really move forward if I know that in the back of my head and in the back of your head?
Yeah, I think about the same thing.
Like, so I mean, I will say that today, like, I'm great. Like, you know, everything's great. But back then, it was me for sure.
Wow.
And I do think that there were, what do you call it? There were like grudges kind of being held that wasn't necessarily like, I almost kind of felt like because they knew that like I was the hothead, they just automatically like put this wall up. So it was just kind of like a high and by situation. We're not getting any deeper than that. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it hurt because I'm like, damn, I was like 15. Like, like, come on now. Like, I'm grown now.
You can sound grown.
So I mean, you know, but things have shifted for sure. So
well, I'm definitely proud of you, like in the whole situation, because I seen the good, bad, and the ugly from both of y'all, and
we've always gotten along.
Right. And like, yeah, I'm just proud of you in that situation.
Thank
and
you.
Look at y'all now. Y'all had a great wedding.
It was so fun.
We had a great wedding.
It was so fun.
The rehearsal dinner was perfect. And then even after we went to the Airbnb and we all got drunk, that was fun. That was fun.
It was fun.
So in this segment, when we come back, we're gonna talk about you guys' businesses, and EJ moved to Germany to play football. Jessica
holding it down.
Right, Jessica holding it down and closing down her shop.